Good evening. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 4, Episode 44. Hubsan Zino Mini Mavic 3 Pro latest updates. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. We got a jam-packed show. Absolutely jam-packed. Got a lot to discuss tonight. Mark or Ron should be joining us. Hopefully Marcus will be joining us tonight. Got a lot to talk about here, guys. A lot of good stuff coming up. Okay, Action 2 is coming up. We're going to talk about that. Mavic 3 got some more info on that. Gonna talk about that as well, and also gonna talk about the Hubsan Zino Mini. That's Hubsan's still in the news here, so they got themselves in the mix. How is everyone doing tonight? We have Ray Kelly's in the house, John Olson, Trina Weeks, Drone Views Media, Michael Wright, Drone Master. Let's see, who else do we have? Mr. Stephen Ewing. Thank you for joining us, sir. Leonard Oglesby. Lauren is in the house. Welcome, Lauren. Let's see who else we got. John Olson, Fly Guy Merrill. Art is in the house. Welcome, Art. Dr. Ted is in the house. Welcome, Ted. Let's see, Billy Tompkins. Who else we got? Johnny Dronefire. Welcome, Johnny. Let's see. Going through here, just making sure I get everybody. Got a lot. Akarasha's in the house. Phoenix Video's in the house. Let's see who else we got. Mike Herenik's in the house. Just going through. Wow, a lot of people here tonight. All right. Got a lot going on here. Now, the first thing I want to do, okay, this is a reminder for those of you. I'm sure those of you who are going already got your notification that yes, it is Spin Up is coming up, okay? And it's going to be a great time. I'm sure everyone will enjoy themselves. I'm going to be watching it online, of course. As you know, I have my my granddaughters coming down from Ohio. Plus, my daughter and son-in-law too, for spend a week before Christmas with us. So that's where my time off is. And boys, yeah, Mavic 3, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty top notch. Nothing can beat the granddaughter though. With family and spending time with her for both Valerie and I. That's just top-notch stuff. So we're really looking forward to that. Hope every one of you have safe travels and enjoy yourself. It's Spin Up. Those of you who are driving, please drive safe. Have a great time. Enjoy yourselves. It will be a wonderful time. Hopefully I will get to one of these sooner rather than later here. So, and I know Kelly's going to put on a grade A show. No questions asked with that. None. All right. Got a lot to talk about here. News and updates. I got one thing to go over here, and we're gonna have some fun. All right, you guys up for having some fun? I hope you are, because I am. All right, I don't know about you, but I know I am. Let's go ahead, and I want to share my screen here. The Mavic 3 launch party. Okay, it's coming up November the 5th, a week from Friday, 9 days from now, live in 9 days, 8:50. Now I have 8:55 down there. Now this may change depending upon if DJI says it's going to be 10 o'clock, but normally they launch at 9. So, and what we mean by launch, they haven't talked about this being an event, and I don't think it will be an event. I think you're going to have a soft launch like you will next week when the Osmo Action 2 or the Action 2 gets debuted next week. Going to be the same thing here. Okay, it's going to be a soft launch, but hopefully Ron and or Marcus will be able to join us. They'll both be at Spin Up. Hopefully they'll be able to access the Wi-Fi. And we have some surprise guests who I think I know that they are, who will be en route to Spin Up, and hopefully will join us while they're en route to get their thoughts and reactions as to the release of the Mavic 3. We're going to have a lot of fun, so stand by. It's coming up in 9 days, guys. We've been waiting for this for a couple of years here, okay? It's been a long time coming, and we got a lot to talk about in the Mavic 3 coming up here in a little bit. So make sure, bookmark this, okay? Go out there, hit the set reminder on that, okay? I'll put up, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this, we're going to get this in the chat so you guys can have that in there. There you go. It's in the chat. So make sure you guys hit that set reminder because you don't want to miss this. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. it's really going to be exciting. I mean, we had a great time. We had a great time when we did the when the air launched. Okay, I joined Ron and Marcus on Drone Nation. We had just had a blast. Just had an absolute total blast. So yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun. So we're really looking forward to this. As I said, we got a lot to talk. Greg Pittman, welcome. Glad to see you here tonight. Next week, it's tomorrow. Lauren, that is okay. That's okay, Lauren. That's for tomorrow. Is the announcement for the Action 2. Okay, I'm sorry. I got that. I probably screwed that up. So yeah, tomorrow is the Action 2. So we're gonna find out about that tomorrow. All right, got some updates here. All right, now the first thing I want to talk about is the DJI Fly app finally got its iOS update here. All right, and I got an article. And by the way, again, all articles that I share on here, they're included in a link in the description for this video. So you can reference them later as you wish, okay? Now, I want to go ahead and get this article up because I know a lot of people were like, well, the Android version's out. When is the iOS version going to be out? Well, it is out, okay? DJI Fly iOS app receives major update ahead of Mavic 3 launch, all right? What's new? Added live stream feature and image transmission settings to share drone footage. Add support to view video cached for loss of image transmission signal and Find My Drone. Add support for iOS 15. Fixes certain issues and optimize overall app quality. Okay. Firstly, you want this update if you've upgraded to iOS 15 that comes packaged into the new iPhone 13, iPhone 13 Pro, and iPhone 13 Mini, as well as the newest iPad and iPad Mini. And while that in itself is big enough reason to upgrade the app, switching to version 1.4.12 would also allow you to stream live video from your Air 2S, Air 2, Mini 2, Mini SE, Mavic Mini, and DJI FPV drone models, okay? For the live stream feature, the drone manufacturer is using Adobe-owned communication protocol, RTMP, or real-time messaging protocol, and thus your smartphone's internet connection would serve as an uplink. Look for the new feature under the transmission tab, okay? So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Same thing as what was out on Android, and it's going to be. And I know a lot of people have been really anxious about this. And there are. Oh, Marcus is here. I'm sorry, Marcus. Welcome. How are you, sir?
How you doing, Bill?
Good.
Good. Along.
Just talking about the iOS update.
Yeah.
For the Fly
have you tried that out yet?
I don't have an iPad anymore.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I'm with that. The iPad went bye-bye about a year ago, so that was my Apple connection.
Well, you know what? I ordered an iPad 6, and I just got an email today that they're pushing it a little further out. They say I won't get it till early November, so it'll probably come the day I leave for spin up.
Yeah, it'll be sitting in. You'll get a door tag when you come home from spin up.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Pretty much what I thought. Yeah, and that's it. I mean, this is a good update. I know a lot of people have been anxious about it, and and it's kind of funny, Marcus, because I'll call DJI an Apple centric. Their code base is Apple centric. The whole 9 yards. But yet, what do? They throw this update out for Android first, which I don't understand that.
There's an interesting dynamic there, Bill. Obviously you cannot get the Android version of the app in the Google Play Store anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard speculation. I don't know anything, but I've heard speculation that has to do with the entity list. Could it be that because they have to kind of create their own app, and it's easier for them to just put it up on their website. They don't have to get anybody's approval. They just throw it up there and you sideload it.
Yeah, that's a real good point. And that's what I've been doing. is side loading, and it works fine. I mean, it doesn't. It's not rocket science. It's pretty easy to do that. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. So I mean, yeah, and that's a good point. That's a real good point.
Just a thought. I mean, I don't know anything, but it's odd to me that it can't be in the Play Store, but yet it is in the iOS store. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. As we know, guess what's coming up? Okay. Well, I have the wrong date down there. Forgive me for that. Okay. I got the wrong date. I don't believe that. Let's kind of edit this on the fly here. Yeah, it is. I don't have the wrong date. I got the right date up here. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay. Action 2 release is tomorrow.
Are you going to show us yours?
Yeah. Boy, do I wish. Okay. My nickels and dimes are saved for November the 5th. Okay. And there's a lot of nickels and dimes that are going to be spent on November the 5th. Trust me on that one. I got an article here. Let's go ahead and see if I can find it. Yeah, I got it here. No, I don't. All right. Well, I'm not going to worry about that. But the Action 2 is going to be out. We're expecting, there's no surprises here, Marcus. We really know everything about it.
Well, I'm going to stop you right there because DJI always has a way of surprising us with something. I mean, we get all these leaks and we think we know everything about it. And then there's, something that they jackrabbit that they pull out of their hat. But I just from what I see, I don't think it's a camera for me, Bill, but I understand the market that they're trying to appeal to.
Marcus, I agree with you 100%. It's not a camera. The original Action, it's a camera for me. Okay. It's a GoPro, if you want to, call it that. Okay. It's in the same body. It's in the same shape, same kind of thing. That's the kind of camera for me.
Bill, that's still a great camera. I mean, that original Osmo Action is a fantastic little action camera.
I could not be more pleased with the Marcus for the video I've shot with it. And, I've used it to do some vlogs. I've used it to, when I'm taking off and landing. And I know you've done that with your GoPro as well. I mean, it's been a great camera. I have absolute zero complaints about it. Well, at first the sound wasn't real good, but then, I got a Rode microphone on it with a windscreen on it. And it's just, I don't have any problems with it. I really don't have any problems with it.
And it doesn't overheat.
Nope. No overheating at all. None. And it's been, as far as waterproof is concerned, it's been fine there. Of course, you got to take stuff off. You can't put the mic in underwater, but it works fine. I mean, it does everything you could want from it. But like you said, I understand where DJI is going with the Action 2 because it's 100% geared towards the FPV market. 100%.
I think you're right, and it's kind of a combination of the Insta360 Go 2 and just a GoPro, right? I mean, this kind of a hybrid of the two. And I listen, if you're an FPV flyer, wow, to be able to strap that little camera on there, that's got to be very appealing.
It sure does. Welcome, Mr. Ron Brun. How are you, sir?
Hello, gentlemen. I'm sorry I'm late here. I heard an interesting conversation about that Insta360 Go. It reminded me, Marcus, that our good friend Barry Markowitz wrote a real nice review on that camera.
He did, didn't he? He sure did. Yeah.
He took this great picture of it by like a little, like, what do you call, like a tiki, like a, what do you call those things in the islands, like a tiki statue? I guess you didn't see the picture, Marcus.
I'm trying to remember, Ron.
It was at the top of at the article. Anyhow,
oh yeah, I saw it at the article, but I just didn't pay a lot of attention.
But yeah, Barry made a great point that it was he could use that camera in places that he could not use even a camera as large as the GoPro. So yeah.
Well, we were talking about the Action 2, Ron, and how Marcus and I both agreed. It's geared toward FPV. I mean, it really, the Action, the original Action is more like a GoPro and what it's intended for, an action camera. This is more for an FPV.
Yeah, or again, like a Barry Markowitz that wants a really small camera, that he can.
Yeah.
You see what Lauren said in the chat?
Pardon? Is Barry in the chat?
No, Lauren Donauer's got a good comment.
So, gentlemen, do you have your buy buttons ready for tomorrow morning, or is that going to be a hard pass tomorrow morning?
Well,
Bill?
funny you mentioned that, Ron. Bill and I were just talking about that when you came in.
Yeah, I mean, well, for me, as I was telling Marcus, Ron, my piggy bank is saved for November the 5th.
Oh, and I heard we may see a little sticker shock tomorrow. I've heard rumors that thing could be $500, Bill.
Yeah, I was hearing $499 as well there. So, and look what Lauren said.
Maybe strap on a Pixel 6. Yeah.
Dono, I mean, that was a heck of a video he put together with that thing. I mean, that's quite a camera on that.
Of course, there's another phone out now, a Sony X something or other that has a 1-inch sensor in it, Bill, that looks like it could be the king of the camera phones.
Look at the size of that camera, Ron. I keep telling you.
That's a monster. I think
the Sony's 1800 for for that one. Of course, we don't know how it functions as a phone, but functions well as a camera. Alexa just said National Weather Service issued a flood warning here for Margate City. So if you see a lifeboat behind me, you know why I have to leave the show in a hurry.
I don't have Alexa on my Apple Watch.
Oh well, maybe I got the beta edition.
Just giving you a hard time, Ron.
And Bill, did you see what I wore today? And
yes, I see what you're wearing.
Atlanta Braves being in the World Series for the first time since 1999. I wore my autographed Chipper Jones shirt.
I like that. Ron. And by the way, I subscribed to your new channel.
Okay. I saw that. Thank you, Bill. It's more, I don't really advertise to the drone community because it's meant more for my local fans, but everybody's more welcome to join it. Sometimes I may even repeat videos because my local community won't really watch the drone videos, but the drone videos where I do nothing but fly the drone appeal to local people. They don't want all the talk you had behind the scenes stuff. They just want to see the footage. So sometimes I cut the drone, I cut just the good parts out of maybe some other videos and just put it on that channel for my local folks.
The king of Margate City.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I have a much bigger following on Facebook from local people in my community than I do any place else in the webosphere or whatever. Because again, it's one of those things. Any photographer tell you, like, pictures and videos that you take of your local community, mean a lot more to those people. They don't, than seeing a picture of the Grand Canyon or something. They want to see pictures and videos of stuff they know. But I'm boring everybody. But thanks for subscribing, Bill, and thanks for promoting my not exactly new channel, because again, I don't really advertise it in these drone communities.
Well, it's still. But the other one, I'm gonna toot your horn here again. Your latest sunset, once again, we see why you are the Jedi Master of the sunset videos. Okay,
here already says the Braves up 2-0.
There we go.
Sorry to interrupt the baseball, but you know what, Bill? I had a little story to tell about that video. I had the Air 2S out, and I've been talking recently about using HLG. It's one of the 3 color profiles you can pick. You can pick normal, log, or HGL. And HGL is kind of made for HDR content. So I think like the second and third clip in the video are HGL that I took in the final cut, put the HDR LUT in there, and adjusted it to get a little bit different look. And if you notice that clip at the very end where I fly kind of low over the pier, and all those seagulls on top of that little hut there, house, and they fly away. Well, that video, I slowed it down a little bit. And of course, you guys know the Mavic Air 2 doesn't record the audio. All those seagull sounds are fake. Those bird sounds are fake because we know we don't record audio.
Oh yeah.
So I add that in, but I was able to slow that clip down, not in slow motion, but just slow it down just a little bit to give those seagulls a little more movement when they were flying away. And they weren't flying away from my drone; they were just flying away. They didn't even know my drone was there. So
well, one of the things I want, and I'm so glad both of you are here, is we're gonna spend some time talking about this. Now, the first thing that I want to do is, and I know, and I saw this posted out on Drone Nation, and I'm going to go ahead and share that here. Hang on.
I've got it all ready to test those new updates.
Yeah, our good friend, Mr. GM himself, Hubsan stops all sales from its website. Why? And then you go out to Hubsan's website, Zino Mini, not for sale. Zino Mini SE, not for sale. Zino Mini Pro, not for sale.
Not making much money over there, are they, Bill?
No, they are not. Okay. And, you know, and I saw, and I read through the comments in GM's post, you know, somebody saying probably a materials shortage, which is probably, I think that's probably an accurate statement. But somebody else posted, guess what? It's for sale on Alibaba and Banggood. So
here's the deal, Bill. What happened was when they went through all that mess with the Zino Mini Pro, the Zino Mini Pro, so many people were asking for their money back from PayPal that PayPal shut them down.
Okay.
And so I suspect that's what this is all about. They're probably trying to get their cash to customer set up going again. The only way they would take a payment was through PayPal. And now that PayPal has shut them down, they're probably looking for a credit card or some way to, or get back in PayPal's good graces. That's my suspicion, Bill. But you can still buy them on Hubsan US and, as you said, on Alibaba or Banggood, etc. In fact, you can still buy. I don't think the Mini. I'm not sure. But you can buy some Hubsan drones on Amazon. So.
Well, you know, the other thing that I wanted to talk about with the Mini here, okay, you really, and correct me if I'm wrong, I did a fairly quick look at the specs between the Mini and, you know, the Mini Pro and the Mini SE. It really seems it's an in-between. It's in between the Mini and the SE. It doesn't have the obstacle avoidance on it. You know, the camera, I'm not 100% sure. What's the difference?
Same camera, Bill. They just poked its eyes out.
Okay.
Obstacle avoidance front and back. They just chunk. And I think that was a big problem with that drone. I think it was using a lot of the resources. I think they figured that out. And they said, well, we better come up with a version without. Now, can I talk a little bit about the SE, Bill?
Sure, go for it.
And Marcus, also get around and telling Bill about that new Zino.
Oh yeah, the Zino Ace.
You broke the news last night.
Yeah, the Zino Ace showed up on the X Hubsan 2 app, and we don't know anything about it. And in fact, you know me, guys, I emailed Hubsan and I said, "Hey, what can you tell me about this?" And I haven't heard anything back, so I don't know. I don't know what it is.
We don't know. Maybe the Ace could be that Micro Four Thirds drone.
Well, it's weird. You look at the. I mean, who knows, Ron? I don't know either. But it's kind of interesting that it showed up on the app. But with regard to the SE, Captain Drone got a hold of one of those, and I looked at his video. It looked pretty darn good, and I suspect that little SE is kind of the sweet spot of the Hubsan drones right now. Because I can tell you the Zino Mini Pro flies great. It's the most stable drone that Hubsan has ever produced by a wide margin. The little Zino Mini SE, I suspect, won't have such a huge load with a smaller sensor and no obstacle avoidance, etc., on the CPU. That it may very well be the one to get.
Well, you know, and I did see Captain Drone's video, and I was impressed with the video quality from it. I was impressed with the stability of it. It seemed like it flew well. You know, the battery time seemed to be good too. It really, you know, it really kind of checked all the boxes. You know,
Bill, I wish the video on the Zino Mini Pro looked as good as the video that he showed off.
Yeah, that video that Steve showed was really good. I mean,
yeah,
it
looked pretty decent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, Hubsan certainly has a full line of drones on their website now.
They sure do. I mean,
Too bad none of them are for sale. Huh?
Yeah,
bad
but
you
we
can't
said
buy
this
one
last
from
night.
Hudson.
Bill, imagine, if you didn't know anything about drones, if you just got into drones today and you were looking around for a drone company, you went to Hubsan's website, you saw the variety of drones, the specs like on the Mini Pro, the pricing. You would think, oh, this is a great company here. Look at all the products they have and all the models and all these specs and whatever. I mean, if you didn't know better, you would think this is the place to be, Bill.
Yeah, I mean, well, three mini models out at the same time. I mean, who has done that? I mean, Autel's going to have 2 models out at the same time, but Hubsan's going to have 3. And I got to agree with Marcus here. All right, this probably seems like DJI hit a very sweet spot here with this drone, because they took this, they took out what was really the Achilles heel of the Mini Pro, and that's that obstacle avoidance, because it was eating up a lot of CPU, was eating up battery, it was heating that drone up, and I think that's the Achilles heel of that drone. This doesn't have that. I expect the Mini itself, the Zino Mini itself, to be a lot like the Mini SE. I think it's going to really, you're going to find a drone that's going to be comparable to that.
I'm worried about the sensor build, and the reason I'm going to say that is because of what I see off of the Zino Mini Pro. I don't think they've got that camera figured out. Now, to be fair, I haven't flown it since this latest update, and they did a bunch of updates, so we'll have to see how that looks. But anyway, I'll just leave it at that, because who knows? Maybe they've refined it, but
I hope so. Because
no, another point, the mini standard also has the 64 gigs of internal storage in it, like the Pro does.
It does.
Okay.
64 or 128. Yep.
Okay. And that's that's innovative. Okay. And I gotta, hats off to Hubsan for coming up with something like this, and for being pretty much the first out of the gate with something like more than, what DJI had on the Air and the Mavic 2, it was like 8 gig of storage. I mean,
yeah, remember when the Air 2S came out, the only complaint almost anybody had about it was, why did they increase that 8 gigabyte storage or whatever?
Yeah.
Why did they go cheap on the storage on that? They could, 8, couldn't they at least give it as 32 or something? Or, if Hubsan could do 64, why couldn't they?
Yeah. And it really doesn't make sense.
One of the things I noticed when I was updating the Zino Mini Pro last night, and I mentioned this on the air yesterday, is, that drone has always gotten really hot. Heck, it didn't overheat. It didn't, by the time, and I had it on for a long time, just sitting on my desk and doing all the updates, walking through the updates of the controller, the drone, etc. Shoot, it wasn't warm. I mean, it was warm, but it wasn't hot at all. So I think they've done some work there as well.
Well, that's good. And I'm hopeful, because, bottom line, competition is good, because it makes the other drone companies have to crank it up a notch. So let's stay tuned on this, because, next year, I'm probably going to get a Nano, and, I might get one of these if things start to bear out. So, so Marcus, any plans on getting a SE or a standard Mini?
I believe that I have an SE on the way.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
Yep.
I'll be real anxious to see how your take is on it. Okay. I really like what I saw from Steve, but, I really look towards you, because, you call it like it is.
Hey, interesting point here. I see Greg Pittman in the chat is saying that he noticed the same thing, that his didn't heat up as much either. So that's pretty clear then. It's probably, they did something.
And Bill, you're aware that Greg Pittman's on his third Zino Mini Pro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Greg, we really feel for you. My gosh. Okay. That's wow. And say this, what you will. Hubsan came through. They're taking care of him. So
you know what's odd about this, though? Let me tell you what's weird is, I know, like, they took care of Greg really well, and they took care of Ross over in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
They just sent him another drone. But, because I do so many Zino Mini Pro videos, I get a lot of comments, and people tell me people on there tell me that they contact or Hubsan support, and they say it's just a dead end. They don't hear anything back, which I think is odd because everybody that I know personally, they're getting a response, but I'm still getting these comments that they say, "Oh no, they just never hear anything back." So that's concerning. And just make of it what you will.
Well, Marcus, remember you had incredible contact with FEMI, and I've never got a response for them at all.
FEMI they were literally throwing drones at me there for a while.
Yeah. And I can't get them to say one word to me.
Well, FEMI did good for me.
My Mini.
FEMI did good for me with my 2020 X8. They sent me a new unit.
Yeah,
no questions asked.
We talk about customer service and who doesn't have good customer service and who does, but all customer service boils down is how they treat you. You know what I mean? If you don't get treated well, you think the company is bad customer service. Doesn't mean it doesn't. If they treat the other 99% of people they talk to good, but it all boils down to your own personal experience and whether a company has good customer service or not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And, and that's a real good point, Ron, because, we're finding out right now, and this is just, and I see this from a lot of my friends on Facebook, and it's customer service now is really kind of stretched thin because, there are a lot of places are short staffed right now. So, you don't have that customer service like you've had before. So hopefully when things calm down with everything going on, and employment picks back up, and people are back in, customer service will pick up because, I've contacted some friends. I've heard from some friends in Pittsburgh, Ohio, other places, North Carolina, that it's kind of lagging in some places. We've experienced it ourselves, just, going out, getting McDonald's or going to Starbucks or something, it still needs to come up a notch. And a lot of it's because of the labor shortage, but we're hoping it's going to get better. So
it will.
It will. Well,
I don't know about you guys, but I tell you, when I go out anywhere to eat, or even if I'm picking up, I tip like a son of a gun now.
Oh, we do too. We do too. And I think that's so important. We do Instacart for our groceries, and I make sure to generously tip with those guys as well too. Because they do a great job. And what's nice now, our Sam's is now delivering for free. Okay.
Wow.
Which is really nice. I mean, that is really, really nice. Well, it's time. Okay. And it's for me. Okay. I'm not surprised. It seems like every day we're getting some new information out. You're going to say something, Marcus?
Well, Bill, I need to sign off. So,
okay.
I wanted to thank you for having me on the show, and I'll be watching, but I gotta get going.
Right,
no
Mark.
problem. Thanks for stopping by,
Mark. The wife has dinner ready. That's what.
There you go.
Of course, absolutely.
That takes it. You go enjoy dinner. You tell Sarah. You give Sarah our best.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks, Marcus.
Bye.
And Bill, you bring up the Mavic 3 and the new news. You know what? It's so much news popping out now. Bill, you and I are all time, drone guys here, and we get accused of pontificating. You could almost smell the Mavic 3 in the air now. Like you could almost, like a Jedi, you can almost sense it being stocked at your local Best Buy. Don't you feel it's real close now, Bill?
Oh, yeah. I mean, today, let's see here. First thing I'm going to cover is, the specs came out today.
We're in a countdown in 10 days now, right?
Yeah, we're on 10 days. Okay. Here's the article from DroneXL. Mavic 3 specs leaked ahead of launch for DJI drone. Specs for the video. 5.1K footage at up to 50 frames per second. 4K up to 120. 1080 up to 200. Highest bit rate for video recording is 200 for H.264 and 140 for H.256. The 3's Hasselblad camera in the Cine edition can record video in Apple ProRes 422 HQ format, which is the most significant distinction from the standard Mavic 3 drone. The standard Mavic 3 drone features 8 gig of internal memory, whereas the Mavic 3 Cine has 1 terabyte of internal storage. Micro SD cards of up to 2 terabytes are supported on both Mavic 3 versions. 5,000 milliamp hour battery allows for up to 46 minutes of flight time. Mavic 3 weighs in at 900 grams, reach an altitude of around 4 miles and a maximum flight distance of about 20 miles, but a transmission range of 10, according to Mavic 3 specs leaked by WinFuture. Mavic 3 uses OcuSync 3 or O3 as it's called now. However, elsewhere in the spec sheets, OcuSync 2 is mentioned in the DJI RC N1 remote controller. We're trying to get clarification on this, and this has been dropped in the in the link as far as the description is concerned. Ron, what are your thoughts on the specs?
Well, I mean, one thing just popped out since we just talked about the internal storage of the Hubsan. So if you buy the base model Mavic 3, you're going to get the same 8 gigabytes of storage that we've seen in the Mavic 2. So they still haven't upped the storage unless you go all out and purchase the Cine pack. That's kind of surprising, Bill.
Yeah, I am real surprised at that, Ron. They're talking about it'll allow up to a 2 terabyte SD card, but if you've ever looked, a 2 terabyte SD card is not cheap. Okay, it's going to cost you. You're going to have to break open a piggy bank to get it. But it's nice that it'll support that. But a good point is made here. Okay, Hubsan has up to 128 on a mini drone, but DJI doesn't have it on the Mavic 3. Okay, that's it's kind of a head scratcher for me, Ron. I don't know about you, but
especially since they heard so much criticism with the Air 2S that they did increase it.
Yeah, that's really kind of surprising in my book.
And another spec that jumped out at me, you mentioned about the Cine pack model or Cine model being the only one who could do the ProRes, and so we kind of knew that. But do you think there's a mechanical difference between the base model and the Cine model, or it's all just a matter of more advanced firmware in there?
I think it's more advanced firmware because with the FCC filing, they said they tested the Cine version and that they said all the mechanical specs are the same between both drones. Okay. So it's going to be the software, and the Apple ProRes and the 1 terabyte of storage are going to be the big differences here. Okay. Now, these are some leaked pictures that came out, and I think this came out yesterday.
Yes.
And again, we're not really surprised by this. We kind of expected at this point in time.
And people are still complaining about the arms being too thin. They think they're going to be fragile.
Yeah, and how many times
pictures?
Yeah, and how many times, Ron, have you heard anybody ever having a problem with arms from a Mavic Pro type drone?
Yeah, that's something from the old toy drone days. But yeah, I've never heard that.
This isn't plastic. This isn't fiberglass. It's not brittle. It's gonna unless you crash this thing at 45 miles an hour, you're gonna be fine. You're not gonna have a problem.
And you're not gonna do that with your obstacle avoidance turned on.
No. And here's the controller, and it's no surprise. It's the same that we see from the Air 2S. Yes. It's the same type of controller here, Ron.
Yes. So the controller we all know and love.
And what's nice is with these pictures, they gave us a peek at the Fly More combo for the base model right here, which is what you see. And then the Fly More combo, here's another shot of it.
Okay.
And then the Cine Premium, and you can see there, evidently there's going to probably be markings on the drone to identify it as Cine. And then there's a picture of it there, another one there, and then a picture of the Fly More combo with the Cine that shows the new smart controller, which is really, in essence, it's just kind of I'm going to say a beefed up version of the original smart controller.
Yeah, we saw smart control 1.5.
Yeah, it's exactly what this is.
And how about you get 2 sets of ND filters with it? Well,
yeah. And that's kind of surprising.
And there's your multi-charger.
Yeah, there it is right there.
Yeah. And what do you think of that propeller guard? That's the most intense propeller guard I've ever seen.
Interesting. Okay, I think, and see, and I remember it may have been Lauren. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you kind of cautioned us from using that on the Mini because the original Mini had that guard on it. Remember that, Ron?
Yes, and look, Lauren put the pricing in the chat here. It's about five things back. You want to pop it up on the screen. No, you're in the middle of your big thing, but here's some things inquiring minds want to know. So Lauren's saying the base pack will be $2,049. The combo pack will be $2,799, and the Cine will be $4,649.
Interesting. Very interesting. Lauren, thank you for that information.
Thanks, Lauren.
And I want Bill Thomas is in the chat. Bill, welcome tonight.
Welcome
Glad to
in,
see you
Bill.
here.
And Bill's got a big Halloween show planned tomorrow night. So if you guys aren't doing anything, put your costumes on and join Bill and Billy Kyle. And I think, Bob Dempsey, the old fart, he'll be there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So tune in. Okay. Shameless promotions over here and back to our regularly scheduled program.
So, Ron, what do you think about these prices? $2,049 for the Fly More and $2,799 for the Cine combo.
Well, I mean, between us guessing and the pricing for a couple months now, all these prices have been guessed. Before we at one point we were at $1,600, then we kind of got ourselves in that we expected the base kit to be $2,000, and the Cine pack we did have that up in the mid $4s, but then some rumors had it lowered down to the mid $3s. So we've seen kind of a version of all these prices before, but maybe this is the first time the prices are more than just a wild guess.
If it's coming from Lauren, it's it's
right.
worth its weight in gold.
Right.
As far as for me, I'm kind of surprised that from everything that I've heard, that the Cine combo is only $2,700. I was expecting it to be a lot more than that.
No, it was 40. Lauren had 46.
Oh, 46. Okay.
Flymore was at 27.
Okay, Flymore is at 27. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
He had 46.49, I believe, for the Cine, which early rumors had it being around 4,500, but then more recent rumors had it about 3,500. So now they got it back up to that.
46. That's kind of what I thought. I kind of thought it was going to land in that 4K kind of range as far as that's concerned. And like I've said, and one of the things, and I think we've talked about it before too, this isn't a drone. The Cine combo is not a drone for a hobbyist, or even let's call us like advanced hobbyists. Okay. It's not for us guys. Okay. It's going to be for a true professional, somebody who is really, really into this. Okay. And first of all, there's not a whole lot of us that are going to shell out $4,600. Okay. For this.
And then you got to go get that new Mac Pro with that M1X in it to tear up that ProRes video when you're during the editing process. So yeah, unless you already have like the professionals already have a computer set up to handle that video, to edit that video, to render it out or whatever. But the amateurs or the semi-pros do not have the rig to handle that. So their buying doesn't stop at the 46 of the drone. Their buying continues when they get the computer hardware and storage space to handle all this in the production.
You would have to have a system with RAIDs on your computer, and it takes a gargantuan amount of storage, and it's going to take that new Mac to handle it. I mean, it needs a lot of processing power to handle this. Okay. Conversely, the video is going to look great. Of course, the video is going to, for all that. And then on top of that, we don't know, this is an unknown, but my guess is, you're going to have to re-up that license with Apple probably a year down the road. So
that is a wild guess, because lots of times if the ProRes comes built into the device, usually that's kind of a lifetime license in standalone camera. So I'm not saying one way or the other, but it's a big reach to say that's a lifetime thing. It could be.
Could be, yeah.
When it's built into a device, it's usually not. So we'll see.
Yeah, we don't know at this point. So it's like one of those things we're going to have to wait till a week from Friday to find this out. So,
right. What do you expect that Friday morning? Do you expect just a little snazzy video and it's up for sale on the DJI website, and then 5 minutes later all your big time YouTube channels, all your Aldrins and whatever drop their videos. Is that how you expect we're going to get our information?
It's exactly how I expect it,
besides
Ron.
just the spec sheet on DJI site.
Yeah, that's exactly how I expect it. Now, one of the things I will tell everybody is probably my guess, and this is just a guess, usually about 8:45 or so, you can be able to start buying.
Yeah, you can usually get it before that 9 o'clock magic hour. Now, back to the packs a little bit, Bill, because a lot of us, the only reason the regular people are talking about Cine's pack is because they don't have the smart controller. But here's a question I want to ask you, and I know we're pontificating again. On day one, at 9 o'clock next Friday morning, when these packs are released, do you think you'll be able to a la carte add the smart controller to the base package?
That's a good question, Ron.
On day one.
From day one, one of the things that I think is I don't think it's going to be available. I think it's going to be exclusive to the Cine combo.
For a short time or for forever?
My thoughts are hold on to your hats, because I think we're going to see a new second generation smart controller come out in 2022. Okay.
So this smart controller will be exclusively made for this Cine pack, and then later on we will get the real smart controller.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So, and because I know a lot of guys were talking about, how can I get the smart controller? And and my advice is sit tight. Okay. Use what you have, use your phone. If you want to get a triple tech tablet, which I highly recommend, which is something I'm going to be getting at the same time. So there's going to be
our good friend Mike Wright has already ordered, and I think it's coming in a couple days.
Yeah, I'm waiting till I get my bonus coming up here in November, when I get my bonus check, and that's going to be one of my expenditures, is getting that tablet, and I'm going to get a Thor mount for it to put it on the Mavic 3. And that'll be perfect, especially here in Florida. Right. It's just the way the sun is with that, and and I saw original Dobo just. He really Triple Tech should give him tablets left and right for the amount of tablets he sold, because his video.
You're an Android guy, so you'll use it as your full-time tablet.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely, and I can use it. I mean, for anything. And what's nice, and I found this out, Ron, is with the FIMI X8 SE 2020, my Mav mount will fit on there. Okay. So I could technically even use it with something like that. So that's going to be a real godsend, and the price on that is very reasonable. I think for it's probably right around $750. I think. Yeah. I think it's real reasonable for that. Plus, you can get a SIM card probably through T-Mobile or whoever, just a standalone SIM card, and you can actually get phone service. It'll actually function as a phone in an emergency if you wanted to. So.
Talk on the big phone.
Yeah, it's going to be a really, really big phone. Now, one of the things I kind of wanted to,
and we joke with the phone thing. You want it for the data. You don't care about ever speaking on it. You just want the data.
Right. You're going to want it for the data plan. Absolutely. And hopefully, if be able to do live apps, or do a live stream from the Mavic 3. That's one of the things that I'm going to be trying, once I first get it. That's one of the things that I'm anxious to try to do, is to see how well that works.
Now, speaking of live streaming, we all know that the Fly app has been updated for live stream for both for Android and iOS now. But have we got any confirmation for sure what app the Mavic 3 will run on, the Go 4 or the Fly app? I mean, I know we've seen speculation. I'm going to say I've seen more speculation for the Fly app than I've seen for the Go 4, but none of these leaks have leaked that yet.
No, there's been no confirmation of that, but I'm leaning more towards the Fly app because the code base has been updated. It's current. It's easier for them to update that code base than the Go 4. The Go 4 is pretty cumbersome, and remember, the Go 4 still supports the Phantom 4. So, it's kind of a legacy system as far as that's concerned. So,
and I know DroneDJ did report when the iOS update came out for the Fly app that it was now compatible with the Mavic 3. They wrote that, but without any verification or whatever. So
yeah, and and again, the Fly app is pretty intuitive, it's very easy for a drone newbie to pick up, if you will. They made it pretty intuitive, and the big thing that I liked about it right away, Ron, and it's my favorite feature on the Fly app, is there's only one menu. You don't have to go drill down menu to menu to menu.
Yeah, exactly. Hey,
Kind of
real quickly in the chat, just to Lauren's last two comments, he's leaning towards the Go 4 app as the app that's going to run the Mavic 3.
Interesting.
And Bill, I mean, what you said is all true, but it's not a deal breaker either way for me. If they say it's the Go 4, I'm fine with that. If they say it's the Fly app, I'm one of those people. I mean, I'm not locked to either app.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, either for me, I really don't. My big beef with the Fly app is, those numbers appear in white and against the sky. A lot of times that's hard to see. Right. Those numbers up there, and
exactly right. Yeah.
So I'm kind of either way it's going to be fine with me. I think I'm leaning towards the Fly app because it has the most recent code base and that's what's being updated. But it could be the Go 4 app, so we don't know.
Or that day the Go 5 app could be released.
Yeah, it could. You very well could be. They could be throwing something brand new at us as far as that's concerned. So that's kind of like a wait and see. One of the things I kind of wanted to close up with here, and I'm trying to let me get my my banner up. Marcus did a great video on this, and I know Marcus came in and broke in, and we broke this
news last week
about this. And Marcus did a great video about it, and I'm not gonna go over. Marcus did a fantastic job on this, and I just kind of wanted to talk about this for a few minutes before we close up tonight. And my thoughts are, and I know, and I saw you were in the comment, and I commented on it too, is one of the things that has been consistently happening over the past couple of years and several years, there's been multiple audits done and they haven't found anything. And these are by independent companies, totally independent companies that have done these audits from DJI. Plus, there has been no evidence, absolutely no evidence of this. And with Huawei, there was a chip. There was
found parts, yes.
Hard evidence with that.
And those pictures, you can still Google search and find those pictures of the parts they found.
Mm-hmm. So, it's just, I don't want to get into politics. I don't want to get into anything as far as
I know, Bill. I know you don't, but you know what? That guy Carr, is it Brandon or Brendan Carr? I mean, I'm not saying he got into politics, but he certainly made political type statements. Where one statement was he said they were capturing a treasure trove of data, and then another thing he said, like, we don't want a Huawei with wings or whatever. Well, that's inflammatory. That's what you expect out of hardcore politicians saying that stuff. Not a career government worker or whatever. He's not running for office. Why is he? Just say the facts. You don't need to say use words like a treasure trove of data and a Huawei with wings. That he sounds like he's running for office with those statements.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Ron. And one of the things that I think people need to also realize with all this too, there's 3 commissioners on the FCC. The chairman is the one that wields the power. He's not a chairman. He's just a commissioner.
And the chair is a temporary chair or an assigned chair. The chair is not even a permanent. I think I don't know if it's a woman or man, but the person's not even a permanent chair. They're just like I forget, not temporary, but they have a word like that in front of them.
Interim, I think.
Active chair.
Yeah. So I'm not. And I got to say this, okay. I don't foresee problems with this, Ron. I don't see people panicking and selling all their DJI products.
Well, let me ask, because what's swell the concerns right now. So if me or anybody else goes out and buys our Mavic 3 next Friday at Best Buy or retailer of choice, and we go out in our first flight, we're all set up in the field. We got and we're following all the rules and regulations. An FAA van's not going to pull up, come and take the controller out of our hands and confiscate our drone. That won't happen, will it, Bill?
No. It's like it's kind of fear mongering to see this. and to hear this kind of stuff, you know, do we need to be careful? Yeah, we need to be careful. All right. And you know what, Ron? If the government wants to stop buying DJI drones for government use, that's fine. Okay. But for us, all right. And this is one of the big things. And I said this before, and I'll say it again. All right. Are people going to want to see shots of and want to know how wide the Snake River Canyon is? Are they going to want to know how long the beach is? You know, the beach property at Margate is,
or how many fishermen are fishing off the Margate Pier on a certain day. That's really important to the
you know, right? You know, real important. You know, I fly over the Sunshine Skyway Bridge to see how many ships are out there and you know how many cruise ships are coming under there. Ron, it's inconsequential. You know, people flying out in the middle of a cornfield and, you know, in Ohio, or flying through a mountain pass.
I mean, the only thing I could say is, you know, when DJI was put on the entity list, was a separate list, which meant they weren't allowed to use American technology. But okay, I think a lot of government bodies stopped using their drones, but I know the FBI and the Secret Service kept using DJI drones, even if they were put in the entity list. And this may be an effort by Carr and his people. If they could get DJI on his cover list, they could shut the FBI and the Secret Service down from using drones. And now we don't have access to important infrastructure, but those groups, those bodies,
exactly that
stuff that China would want to see.
That's a key point, Ron, because I read the same thing too. And you know what? You know, the Secret Service and the FBI, you know, they're pretty vital. They're, you know, we all know the Secret Service not only is responsible for protecting the president, but you know what their main job is, and a lot of people don't know this, is counterfeiting. Okay, they are the number one counterfeit preventer, you know, in the United States as far as counterfeit bills are concerned. And we all know about the FBI and their responsibilities, and, you know, and it's pretty far reaching. And, you know, you don't want, because obviously they're going to be going over sensitive areas, and you don't want that information to get out any way, shape, or form. So,
you also don't want the Secret Service protecting the president with a Hubsan drone, no.
Oh, well, yeah, that's no, you know, on that score. So no, I think, you know, is it worth to pay attention to? Yeah, it's good to pay attention. It's good to be knowledgeable about this, but you know, the sky is not falling. You know, it's not anything to really worry about. You know, because I've seen a lot of comments on this, and I've told people, I'm saying, you know, this is really geared more towards, you know, the government more than anything else. And I think what Carr's statement, you know, a lot of people have taken it out of context. Like Ron said, they want to stop the government in its tracks from using DJI drones. And that's all well and good. And they probably should. Okay. Because, you know, unless they can prove 100%, you know, in their right that it's not sending back sensitive information, then they shouldn't use that. So yeah, the FBI and the Secret Service should not be using that, because they're key, you know, they're key government agencies, and
they do have access to a sensitive, important infrastructure that us common people don't have.
Yeah, you know, and I understand, and you know, I think bottom line is this: don't even pay any attention on November the 5th. If this is entering the back of your head, toss it to the side. It really doesn't matter. It really,
it's already been approved by the FCC, so maybe future models going forward be concerned with this one. So I think the main gist we can give, because we're running 9:01, but we can run a couple minutes over. I think the main gist for we can get the people is, don't worry about this FCC problem or whatever. Worry about getting at least $2,000 put aside, Bill, right?
Yeah.
Plus whatever state tax is, whatever tax years. What's your tax bill?
7%.
Yeah. So you need $140 on top of the $2,000 to pay your taxes.
Yeah.
So, and that's if you just want the base kit. Okay, you speculated that the smart control would not be available, especially at launch. what do you, if you just wanted to buy a base kit and spec it out yourself by adding a extra battery, what do you, just a ballpark, what do you think a battery is going to run us?
I'm thinking a battery's probably going to run 125, 135. That's just off the top of my head.
You sound like a little bit of low, but I hope you're right, Bill. And so you could probably spec it out with the second battery, and the base kit will probably not come with a case, right? But I know you like to get a nice hard case, so you not getting that soft side case isn't a big deal, right, Bill? For you,
that soft side case, Ron, you know, it's nice, but it's not functional. It really is not functional at all. It holds. Let me put it to you this way, okay? It keeps the drone safe when it's being shipped to you. All right, or you know, if you're ordering it. And that, to me, that's its purpose, because, you know, I'm going to go out and get, you know, either a Pelican or go out to Nanook, you know, which Barry Markowitz is good friends with them.
Company,
you know, I'm going to get one of those because they're built rugged, they're built solid, they'll handle this. They're specifically built to handle this kind of stuff. So
you know, the only reason I like the soft side case, and maybe I have a hard case many times too, but the soft side case, especially when DJ, it almost looks like it could just be like a little bag or a little camera bag. So if you're going someplace where there's a lot of people around, you're not walking through with this big hard Pelican case. Okay, first of all, you know, somebody may say, hey, that guy's a drone over, this is gonna be trouble. But also you may have, you know, thieves and stuff. Oh man, that guy's, look at that case. He must have something really valuable. So sometimes you can go a little more kind of under the radar with that kind of like little soft case, almost like you said, just carrying could be a diaper bag or whatever. You know,
that's a good point, Ron.
Yeah. So, but I mean, when you throw it in the back of your car or whatever, yeah, the hard case is it. You could throw that in the back of your SUV, go out in location sometime. Doesn't matter if it gets tossed around a little bit. So, I mean, I understand from a safety standpoint, you know, just you going out to remote location, that's the way to go. But if you're in a big crowd of people, whatever, you look a lot less conspicuous if you're not carrying that big hard case around.
And especially if it's like neon orange or that bright yellow or something like that. That will, you know, you stand out in a crowd when you do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because even somebody doesn't even drone, they usually think, well, he has some high-end camera gear in that thing. What's going to rob that guy? He's got a couple grand in camera gear in there.
Yeah, you know, and also too, you know, if you're traveling and going through an airport, you know, that's going to call it. TSA is going to pay more attention to it as well.
Yeah, they'll want to really check it out with that.
With neon orange, coming through there. So yeah, that's a really good point.
A little soft thing, you could tell him I got a drone. No, look, peeking out, you got a little toy drone in there and zip it back up.
You know, a soft case is good. You know, and you need to be careful if you're traveling with it. That would probably be best to put it like under the seat in front of you. Marcus is rejoining us here for a minute.
I finished dinner.
Okay. All right. Well, we're wrapping up here.
Hey, Bill, can I comment on one thing? I was listening intently the whole time.
Go for it.
Well, one of the things you were talking about with regard to DJI and the covered list, etc. All well and good. And, you know, Ron says, well, you know, we don't have any proof. And Bill, you said the same thing. Often, intelligence services don't want you to know what they know, because they don't want the adversary to know how they know something, right?
Right.
So that's a possibility. I'm not saying it is.
Right.
I'm saying it's a possibility that there may be things that we as laymen don't know and cannot know, and I don't want to know.
Right.
Of course, going along with that, it would if they were trying to be kind of on the sly about it, wouldn't it have been better not to have cars say flying Huawei's and treasure trove with data? Again, he was really trying to go under the radar on this. Why the big inflammatory comments?
I suspect that may be some sort of a bargaining chip, Ron. Is very possible.
Yeah, and then I speculate is we hope they're just negotiating with DJI right now, and these are all tactics to get DJI to you know,
it's
come in and play ball with this.
The other aspect to this is the secure equipment list, that second line on that second paragraph, where he's asking that they have the ability not to approve future products from DJI, not to give them an FCC license. Bardwell did a show about this just this evening. So here's the thing that strikes me about that is that secure equipment legislation passed the House overwhelmingly. Like I'm looking at my notes here, 420 to 4. So it was totally bipartisan. And now it's on to the Senate. So all I'm saying is, no matter what you and I think, something could happen, and we just need to be aware of it. Now, that's, as you said, it's not going to affect the Mavic 3 at all.
They're not going to take my Mavic 3 away from me.
Well, they can't,
the van's not going to pull up, and
well, the only thing that happened, I suppose, potentially, if they made it impossible for DJI to do business, we could lose support for some of our legacy products, which I suppose the Mavic. We'd be mailing them all up to Lauren to get service, is what we'd be doing. But that's the only point that I wanted to make is, as laymen, we don't know what we don't know.
Right. True. Right. That's true.
That's the only point I wanted to make.
You do bring up a good point about intelligence, and a lot of things are so sensitive. We don't need to know that, and I agree. But I really think the car was aiming this more, as Ron and I were talking about it, like the FBI and the Secret Service and so forth, that they may have captured some sensitive data regarding maybe the president's travel or the FBI, as far as criminal activity is concerned and so forth, things that only the government agencies need to know, and not China or anyone else.
There's no question about that, Bill. Absolutely. Yeah. And he said as much. So I think that's part of it. Yeah.
So
so they're going to order them all Hubsan drones to use from now on.
I think, Ron, if you did that, they'd probably kick you out of the country. I don't know. You'd have to go move in with Lauren up there, I suppose.
or move in with Sam Lee over in China.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, in Shenzhen.
Ron, any closing thoughts?
No, Bill. A great show tonight. We touched on a lot of topics. I'm glad we got to talk about those bundles a little bit. And I want to thank Lauren for giving us that price list, which kind of gives us a basis of going out. Marcus, did you get to see Lauren's price list?
I did. That's fascinating, and I still have that disconnect, same as you did, Ron. And you brought it up, and Bill, you too. That difference between the Fly More and the Standard just blows my mind. And I'm kind of leaning towards what you guys were talking about. Just buy the Standard kit, get my own bag, buy an extra battery, boom, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
And just play it by ear on that smart controller. If Bill is right, this smart controller is only going to come with the Cine pack, and a better smart controller is coming down the road. The smart controller we really want, hopefully, is coming down the road. The one with the bigger screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Marcus, any thoughts?
Well, that was my last thought. So get out there and fly your drones.
Real quick, did you see Geeks Fanas in the chat? And we do want to shout him out. He did a great video yesterday on the available packs, the bundles for the Mavic 3. So if you haven't seen his video, jump over to his channel and check his explanation. Well, he brings up a lot of little points that we didn't bring up today on things that are in the kits.
On the jock strap and all that other stuff that comes with it. But the other thing, he also, Ron, I want to give you another shout out. He put out an excellent video on all the legislation and so forth with regard to the Brendan Carr tweet and all of that. He really put that in a very cohesive package and made it easy for folks to understand. So
knocking it out over there with
I recommend that everybody
shout out to our good buddy across the pond.
Yeah, everybody needs to go check out his video on both of those subjects.
Yeah, and I'll say this, Geeks Fun, thanks for stopping by tonight, and definitely you want to check out that video. You did a great job on that. As always, you get in depth and do your research and do your homework. And again, thank you for getting that video, and thanks for stopping by tonight. And everybody, thanks for stopping by. It was a great show tonight. Really covered an awful lot. It's exciting. We got the Action 2's coming out. A week from Friday, we got the Mavic 3 coming out. A lot going on. Autel Nano is coming out sometime soon. So got a lot going on.
Is it?
Well, yeah, that's the big question. Okay, that is the really big question. And don't forget, Spin Up's coming up too. So, and I know you guys are going to be spending part of your week traveling and getting out there. So that's going to be fun for you guys.
Maybe we can give a live report or something from Spin Up or whatever.
Well, I got pegged. Matt and Johnny may check in Friday morning as well. I think they're going to be en route, but during the release day.
Of course, Marcus and I could be at an undisclosed location that morning.
Being an undisclosed.
Ron, say no more.
Ron.
Say no more. Yeah. Say no more.
Uh-oh. All right, guys. Thanks so much. And as always, it's a great day to fly. Take care, everybody.